all know what that means. Protection of the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States. That's big stuff.
President Trump orders new vetting measures with the goal of blocking terrorists from the U.S. By the numbers, an early morning expedition trying to get a handle of San Diego's homeless population.
Especially the word alien. It's like from outer space or something. It's like a bizarre imagined thing. Would you like to be called alien? A bizarre fantasy thing? I don't think so.
The nation's first Latino poet laureate talks about the language of the immigration debate. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. President Donald Trump signed an executive order this afternoon implementing new vetting measures for refugees. He says the aim is to keep radical Islamic terrorists out of the U.S.
And this is the protection of the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States. We all know what that means. Protection of the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States. That's big stuff.
The order stops visas for Syrian nationals and halts the processing of Syrian refugees. It also suspends the border refugee program for 4 months. It does not explain what extreme vetting would mean, but it suspends all immigration from countries with terrorism concerns for 90 days. California Senator Kamala Harris issued a statement following the signing. She's a member of the Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs. She says the order will effectively ban Muslims from entering the country and runs counter to our nation's national security interest. Trump says he had a very good phone call with Mexico's president one day after Enrique Peña Nieto canceled his plans to visit Washington. The cancellation was a response to Trump's order to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Trump says he and Peña Nieto agreed to work out their differences on the issues as a part of a comprehensive discussion on U.S.-Mexico relations. Those comments came in a news conference with British Prime Minister Theresa May.
I, James Norman Mattis, do solemnly swear.
I, James Norman Mattis, do solemnly swear.
James Mattis was sworn in today, making him officially Trump's Secretary of Defense. Known as Mad Dog by Marines, the former Camp Pendleton commander has come out against torture as an interrogation tool, something Trump has expressed interest in bringing back. But President Trump says he'll defer to the views of this on Mattis for this matter, saying he is the expert. Hundreds of volunteers were up bright and early this morning canvassing neighborhoods across the county to count the homeless. The annual census determines the amount of federal and state funding the region receives to help the homeless. KPBS reporter Susan Murphy tagged along with San Diego Councilman Chris Ward in his East Village district where the crisis is soaring.
The annual homeless count is more than just adding up numbers.
Good morning. If anyone can hear me, I'm with the city.
It's about talking to homeless people about how they got into this situation and what will help them get out.
When did you become homeless?
Newly elected San Diego City Councilman Chris Ward hit the streets with a clipboard of questionnaires in his East Village district, the county's epicenter of homelessness.
Is there reason that you don't want to stay in a shelter, or is there just not availability?
Entire blocks along the outskirts of the soaring city skyline are lined with tents and makeshift dwellings. Hundreds of people hunker down on the sidewalks every night.
Is it overwhelming?
Yes. And, there's so many more tents here that were not here last year. I think a lot of people are using that for temporary shelter, and so the visual impact, it's hard to see people on the streets and in the corners and in our alleys.
Ward says it's also hard to speculate on whether the homeless count will be higher than last year or if more people have just moved to downtown from other areas of the county. But he does believe the crisis has bottomed out.
help. And the reason I believe that is part because of the political muscle that's coming in here. Never before have we seen the mayor, so many county supervisors, all partners at the table, just doubling down and recommitting themselves to make this their #1 priority.
Plans include more permanent supportive housing.
But we're also not letting go of, the emergency need and some of the temporary things that we need to be able to do just to help people today on the streets and get off the streets and into that pipeline for future success.
In the meantime, talking to the homeless is giving him an idea of the greatest needs in his district. Individual interviews with the homeless will continue through the weekend. The results of this survey will be released in a few months. Reporting from the East Village, Susan Murphy, KPBS News.
The first ever Veterans Stand Down in North County starts tonight. It's based on the idea first pioneered by Veterans Village in San Diego, which hosted the nation's first ever Veterans Stand Down 25 years ago. KPBS North County Bureau reporter Allison St. John is at the site, the Green Oaks Ranch in Vista. Allison, what's happening there tonight?
Yes, Ebony, we are here live at the Green Oaks Ranch in Vista, which is the site of the first ever North County Veterans Stand Down event. It's a 3-day event, and our viewers are probably familiar with the Stand Down in San Diego, which many thousand veterans show up to. But a group of North County veterans decided it was time for a stand down of their own for homeless veterans up here. There is quite a population of homeless veterans in North County. Some of the agencies have estimated that more than 800 of them were serviced last year alone. So there's a population that could really do with the help. And I have here with me Matt Foster, who is one of the group that started to organize this event. And Matt, tell us a little bit about what veterans who come here can find.
Well, they can find medical, legal, dental, and housing assistance here. We also have vision care and a bunch of other services that they can use to help them with their lives. We have a lot of vendors that are here to help. Massage therapists, chiropractors, all kinds of different people are here just to help the veterans, get them off the street, get them jobs.
It's a chance for them to relax and from the struggle of surviving on the streets.
They go from being on the streets to being in this nice rural environment. It's a ranch. It's a retreat, and they get to actually retreat from the daily struggle and concentrate on themselves.
Wonderful. I have also here Gary Newman, who was a Marine for 6 years and got out of the force 11 years ago. Yeah. Gary, what are you hoping to find here?
Well, I was able to get eye vision care and get a prescription for my eyeglasses, also dental care, and as well as I gained access to the VA healthcare system. I had been denied for many times back and forth trying to get in. And today there's a lot of big people here and pulled some strings, and now I'm able to get my ID card and access to the hospital VA healthcare system. So that was important, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
No worries.
And it should be mentioned that about 500 volunteers are also helping to make this event possible. We're here live at Green Oaks Ranch in Vista.
Thank you, Allison. A few minutes ago, we showed you the annual San Diego homeless count. The numbers from today won't be available until later this year. Last year, more than 8,000 homeless people were counted in the county. Today, I sat down with the executive director of the Regional Task Force on the Homeless to talk about how it's done and why it's so important. So today was the annual homeless count. Can you tell me about it?
Well, it was a wonderful thing happened today. We had over 1,700 volunteers, wonderful San Diegans, come out to help us enumerate the homeless. Between 4 and 7 a.m., they deployed from 53 different deployment centers all over the county.
So why is this needed?
San Diego has over 600 census tracts, and we count by census tract, and we assign volunteers to count specific census tracts. We count a little under 600 of those census tracts, and it's literally an enumeration where they go out and, through observation, count homeless people that they see, either sleeping on the street, in tents, or hand-built structures, or in vehicles.
So why is this so important?
It's really important to us in San Diego because, well, number one, the count is mandated every 2 years by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. But San Diego counts every year. This was a mandatory year for federal reporting. We report that number to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and then they turn around and report that number to Congress in an annual homeless assessment report. So communities across the nation do the count, are mandated to do the count, the last 10 days of January.
I understand you're doing something new this year, working with formerly homeless youth. Can you tell me about that?
We're talking about that homeless youth that might be sleeping in someone's, car in the driveway. They're tougher to find. So what we've done this year that's different is that we are employing a little bit of a different strategy by really engaging formerly homeless youth and those youth that know where the homeless youth hide, because they do hide.
So how is this perceived? How do people actually respond to being counted?
It's very interesting. I was at a deployment center this morning where we deployed 80 electeds and VIPs that went out and surveyed. And, some brought some guests with them. And when they came back, they told me, the homeless, many were willing to tell their story very openly. People came back telling me this morning, I'm changed as a result of this experience. I'm changed because I've realized that that homeless person isn't necessarily always that person with serious mental illness or alcohol and substance abuse. People came back telling me, I talked to young people that were homeless because they lost their job and, without mental illness, very willing to tell their story. And it was very life-changing for some of the folks that were out there this morning.
While this is mandated, ultimately the goal is to help people. How does this count help with that?
What this count, the results, it helps us bring in the desperately needed federal funding. It helps us to bring in approximately $18 million of competitive money for San Diego, and providing the results of the count to the federal government helps them see whether the problem is getting worse or getting better in San Diego. This is one of the things that we have to do as a community in order to truly compete for federal funds.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
More fallout from the Chargers' move to Los Angeles. More than 1,100 workers are being laid off by the firm that handles concessions for Qualcomm Stadium. These are bartenders, cashiers, retail clerks, and food service workers. The State Employment Development Department says the layoffs are expected at the end of March. March is also when more than 100 employees at San Diego CW6 will lose their jobs. This comes in the wake of the station losing its affiliation with the CW network. KFMB now gets that affiliation. CW6 will air its final newscast on March 31st, paving the way for the station to become an affiliate of Galavision, a Spanish-language network. CW's primetime programming will continue on Channel 6 until May 31st. Then that programming will move to Channel 8.3, a KFMB subchannel. Officials at KFMB say they plan to run CW's newscast on that subchannel and have talked to some CW employees about working there.
We take an in-depth look into homelessness tonight, asking why some streets in downtown San Diego have become a sea of misery and what's being done about it. That's on the Roundtable tonight at 8:30.
A new recovery and wellness center is planned for North County thanks to a $3 million donation. The center will help people struggling with addiction, something Greg Engel of Interfaith Community Services says doesn't currently exist in North County.
For thousands of people who will be able to rebuild their lives at the Recovery and Wellness Center, and particularly to meet the huge amount of need we see among those who are homeless and struggling to overcome addiction and mental health crises.
Engel says Interfaith is already looking for a location for that center. The bequest is from the Joan James Trust and is the second largest in the organization's 35-year history. A new poll finds about half of Americans say they support the Affordable Care Act, but many others want it repealed, and a few want it kept the way it is. AP reporter Kelly Daschle talked with people on both sides of the issue.
For David Zoltan, a diabetic from Chicago, access to the Affordable Care Act has been a lifeline.
If this administration has its way, I don't think I'll survive the next 4 years. I don't think I'll last more than a year or two without Obamacare.
We spoke with Zoltan a day after he was released from the hospital following surgery to amputate his toes. We originally met him in 2012, 2 years after he was among the first to sign up in Illinois for a health plan under the Affordable Care Act for people with pre-existing conditions. Prior to that, Zoltan was unemployed and uninsured. His diabetes repeatedly sending him to the emergency room when he ran out of insulin.
And those were the two scariest years of my life. There were a number of times there where I came very close to not making it through. And quite frankly, if I have to do that again, I don't know if I'll survive.
Zoltan is far from alone in his support of former President Barack Obama's health care law. According to a new AP NORC poll, 53% of Americans say they want to keep the law. But nearly as many, 46%, say they want to see the law repealed. And few want to keep it entirely in its current form.
I felt like this kind of got just pushed on us. And
Nebraska accountant Todd Blome insures his family of 5 through Obamacare, but he believes the system is in dire need of change. Over the past 4 years, Blome says he's seen his premiums go up a whopping 250%. And despite early promises that he'd be able to keep both his insurance plan and his doctor, he says neither has been the case.
I actually believed that I was going to be able to keep my existing plan, and so I was a little surprised when immediately, right out of the gate, I was told, nope, those plans are gone.
Still, Blome has a son who, like Zoltan, has diabetes. He appreciates the law's protections for people with pre-existing conditions and hopes that's a provision of the law that won't change.
I don't think they can pull the rug out from people. That wouldn't be appropriate, so I hope they come up with something.
It's a hope shared by the majority of Americans. The poll found 56% are extremely or very concerned that many people will lose their coverage if the Affordable Care Act is repealed. Hours after taking office, President Donald Trump followed up on his campaign pledge to repeal and replace the law, signing an executive order to begin the process. Although Trump has said he wants to keep some of the law's consumer protections like the pre-existing condition coverage, it's unclear what the replacement will look like, leaving participants like Zoltan worried for their future. Kelly Daschle, Associated Press.
A plan to make California its own country is a step closer to the ballot. Backers of the plan now have the okay for a petition drive. They're proposing a constitutional amendment for California to exit the U.S., and they want to put it on the ballot in 2018. Similar attempts have failed in the past. Strong Santa Ana winds today led to a high wind warning in San Diego, and the cool weather and sunny skies will stick around tomorrow. Brittany Boyer has tonight's forecast.
The big weather story on this Friday, well, if you've been outside at all, or even if you're inside today, you've probably heard the winds howling, the Santa Ana winds. Yeah, making for some very windy conditions today. Good news, though, we have a dry weekend ahead, and we will be talking about when our next chance for rain is. But you know what? We can wait a little bit for that. It has been very wet here so far this month. Hey, looking ahead at the rest of today and tomorrow, the Santa Ana winds will continue to be an issue here, especially over the mountains and the foothills. We've already seen peak gusts up in Orange County, a peak gust of 88 miles per hour today. That's hurricane force winds. Here locally, we have had some gusts up to 60, 70 miles per hour. You'll notice with this map here, the Santa Ana winds not so much an issue as you get into LA and also San Diego, because the infrastructure usually protects us from those very gusty winds. But we still have to be cautious of these high winds. If you have anything outside that could easily blow away, your best bet is to bring them inside if you haven't already done so. High wind warning continues through Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. along the coast. Again, not so much of an issue. It will be windy, but not extremely windy, as we're seeing over the foothills and also the mountains out here toward Alpine and also Mount Laguna. If you are traveling along the passes, especially in a high-profile vehicle, you will want to use extreme caution because it could, of course, be dangerous. So high wind warning continuing across the region throughout the day, throughout the evening tonight, and also throughout the morning hours on Saturday, and then the winds will gradually start to subside. What's going on with the rain? Well, there is none. It's a nice and dry Friday for you. A cool Friday, cool and windy, but no precipitation that we are tracking for today and really for this weekend as well. So overnight tonight, we'll have a starlit sky, temperatures dropping into the 40s. Outside, outside of San Diego. We're looking at temperatures near 41 in Alpine, 34 in Mount Laguna, and up in Ramona, temperatures overnight tonight will stay in the low 40s. We'll track our winds here with our future winds mapping. You can see overnight tonight staying very windy, winds still up to 75 miles per hour possible over the foothills and mountains. And then as we get into Saturday, improving conditions with the winds. We're still going to have that flow, but also going to see those winds gradually subsiding, especially as we get into the afternoon hours. So losing those breezy conditions on Saturday, and then better weather on the way for Sunday. High pressure building in, still a little bit breezy for your Saturday afternoon, but temperatures warming up into the 70s, but over the mountains we'll keep things a little bit cooler. In Alpine, 55 degrees. Temperatures warmer on Sunday, plenty of sunshine, and also looking nice and sunny for the coast as we get into the middle of next week. Next chance for rain looks to be late into the week, and that's when we will see the return of that moisture. Inland temperatures Sunday and Monday warming up into the upper 70s. The mountains going to be a very windy night tonight, also very windy on Saturday. Improving conditions on Sunday, less windy with plenty of sunshine. For the deserts, lots of sunshine to go around here for your Sunday and Saturday, and then also nice and dry early next week. For KPBS News, I'm meteorologist Brittany Boyer.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next News Hour, anti-abortion activists head to Washington for the annual March for Life. That's Friday on the PBS News Hour.
Juan Felipe Herrera is the nation's first Latino poet laureate. The son of migrant workers, his writing includes reflections on immigration and borders. He's in San Diego this week as the scholar in residence at the Bishop School. That's where he spoke with KPBS Frontiers reporter Jean Guerrero about President Trump's plan to build a wall at the border.
Juan Felipe Herrera, thank you so much for joining us and speaking with us. Your poetry is so much about breaking borders, about overcoming them with language, with memory. And I was wondering what you thought about Trump already taking steps to build the border wall that he's talked about so much. I'm sure it has a lot of symbolism for you. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
It's a terrible crime to border people off. People are starving, people are suffering, people are trying to keep their children alive and themselves alive and their families alive back home, where there is violence and poverty as well. So to stop them and build a wall to prevent them from crossing and treat them as animals and put them in cages and sleep on the floor with a light, thin wool blanket and water, that is not right. It just is not right. So it's time to find positive solutions, collaborative solutions, and embracing each other and holding on to each other, providing sanctuary for each other. That's what I feel. That's my experience.
And what role do you think your poetry or art in general can play in terms of helping people get at the truth in a world where we're increasingly bombarded with contradictory information?
We have to speak our own, the news of our heart. We have to present the news of our heart and the news of our expansive vision. So we have to express ourselves very publicly, write very publicly, and show who we are very publicly. The people need presence, to be present in the public eye. Their stories to be present in the public spheres, in the media, on the buildings, on billboards, in schools, on the streets, in community centers, in hospitals, in doctors' offices.
As a poet who seeks to get at the truth with words, I'm curious about your thoughts on one word in particular. When referring to immigrants who come to the U.S. illegally, journalists, at least at NPR and KPBS, have refrained from using terms like illegals or aliens, but our president has chosen to use these words. What do you think about those words and what they mean?
Well, I'm not going to comment on the president at all. I can tell you that when we talk about human beings as objects, like aliens, especially the word alien, it's like from outer space or something. It's like a bizarre imagined thing. Would you like to be called alien? A bizarre fantasy thing? I don't think so. It reduces a human being to something dehumanized. So that has to go. Illegal is the same thing. Illegal and illegal, those are that's legalistic language. That's court language. That's a judicial language. It does not apply to a person's identity. Ask that person how they identify themselves. They're not going to say, I'm an illegal alien.
And lastly, do you foresee your poetry changing at all in response to what we're seeing politically? Or perhaps is it already changing?
Well, everything is always changing. Nothing needs to be pushed into changing. It's an organic, we live in an organic flow of feedback and response. So that's what we do. And artists, that's even more what we do. We love to respond. That's why we do art. We love to observe. That's why we do art. But everyone is an artist also. So let us promote the artist in all of us and respond. There's not only one way. You don't have to follow my way. I don't even know if I have a way. I want all ways to be open. I want freedom. Remember that word? Freedom? That's what we need to, that needs to be our guiding light. So let us respond so we can be free even more every day. And yes, poets are writing a big old stack of poetry as we speak.
You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.